Hey everybody, Michael Snyder, Pacific Northwest Weather Watch. Today is May 25th and I am in Dallas, Texas right now. You can probably tell I am in a hotel room here, getting ready for a moderate risk out here across the plains, and I'll be chasing out here for the next several days or so. So anyway, I wanted to show you here the mid-level water vapor loop. You can kind of see the Gulf of Alaska troughing here. We got more systems on the way. We got some rainy weather for some areas as we go through the early portion and mid portion of the week coming up as well. And we'll take a look at the extended forecast as always. I wanted to show you what was going on yesterday. So we're going to back up and look at the visible satellite imagery. And if you look across some of eastern Washington, extreme southeast Washington here, and some of the Blue Mountains, Wallowa Hills, and some of northern Idaho, also, we had some thunderstorm activity, as you can see. And then as the daylight heating went away, that activity did wane. And now we're starting to come into this morning. You can see pretty good cloud cover here west of the Cascades. There are some sun breaks east of the mountains here. And that's going to kind of be the theme as we go through the weekend here. We're going to have some warmer weather here east of the mountains for the Memorial Day weekend here, and a little bit chillier here off to the west. We'll look at those details here in a moment. So taking a look at this, Western Washington here, Saturday, light rain, best in the Cascades, light rain, best chance on the coast for Sunday, and Monday, drier chance of showers late. So Monday's probably going to be the best day here, trying to get up towards 70 degrees for some locations, as you can see on the forecast right there. And if we take a look at Memorial Day weekend forecast for Portland, Oregon here, you can see that we're going to be dealing with some better temperatures here, especially for the inland valleys. Willamette Valley, check it out. Some mid to upper 70s are possible here, but then we've got another system kind of rolling in as we go through the midweek period. And if we look at the thunderstorm potential for Saturday, they do mention this here, Republic, Colville, Sandpoint, Bonners Ferry, just outside of Spokane here, a little bit lesser chances as you go down across southern portions of the Idaho Panhandle here and for western Montana. And watch out for the lightning, small hail, heavy downpour, some gusty winds to 30 miles per hour. Now, looking at the Memorial Day weekend outlook here for the Pendleton, Oregon, here you can see Monday again, dry and warm, low 80s possible here. So not bad for some of the Pacific Northwest for sure. Now, if we look at what's coming up here, I wanted to show you the GFS. This is what's known as integrated water vapor transport. And so this kind of shows you where atmospheric rivers may be. And you can kind of see, or actually does show where they are. And as we go through Sunday night, you can see the Gulf of Alaska troughing here and this very weak atmospheric river out here. In the wintertime, these are much more robust here, but it would barely qualify as an atmospheric river for some locations. And then you can kind of see the frontal passage will be occurring here as we go through the day Tuesday. So that's going to bring some rainfall as well. And then we got this ridge of high pressure out over the ocean here as we continue with some troughing across the Gulf of Alaska. And if I scroll out a bit far enough here, towards hour 150, hour 160, you can see a fairly decent storm going into southeast Alaska, trying to bring another frontal system down towards western BC and the Pacific Northwest, with some additional moisture trying to move in here as we go through the extended forecast. One thing at a time, though. Take that with a grain of salt until we get a little closer. Looking at Seattle, you can see as we go through today, tomorrow, and then that bump on Monday here. Not a bad day out there for some areas. Then we drop back down again with that next system rolling in here. Then maybe return towards some normal weather here as we get towards the beginning of June. Looking at Portland, you can see Monday again. Look at that 76, pretty nice day. Then we bounce back down, kind of a bit of a roller coaster here as we go into the upcoming week. Here's Bend Municipal Airport. Check it out, towards 80 degrees here on Monday. And when, again, the troughing comes in, and then we try to bounce back after that. Spokane, something similar here as well. And if we look at 80-meter wind speeds, so we've got a decent onshore flow going on as we go through this morning. You can see the wind coming down the Strait of Georgia, Strait of Wanafuca, Chehalis Gap, east slopes of the Cascades and Cascade Mountains. There's some gusty winds out there through the gorge. You can see it coming across the Oregon-Washington border as we go through this afternoon. Some pretty gusty winds out across eastern Washington, eastern Oregon also. But as we go through Sunday, you'll notice that gradient starts to weaken, becomes a bit more southerly. We still have some east or west winds coming through on the east slopes of the Cascades there. And then you can see the next system here, the troughing, the southwest flow starts to move back towards the region here in advance of our next storm systems. Now, if we look at Spokane International Airport, just a little bit of, a few chances for a little bit of light rain here as we go through this weekend, and then maybe the midweek period as we go through Tuesday coming up. But Monday should probably be the best day, it looks like. Seattle, Tacoma, something similar here. Some of the ensembles are showing a fairly wet period here as we go through Tuesday on in through Wednesday into Thursday also. So watch out for that. Light rain here as we go on in through the day Sunday, as you can see. And if you look on Vancouver Island, some of these places are supposed to get up over an inch, and you can kind of see that peaking here as we go through the day Sunday. Now, if we take a wider look at things for everybody here across Pacific Northwest, total precipitation in inches as we scroll through the day today, you can see some areas north of Seattle, Skagit County looks like a pretty good bullseye there for some precipitation occurring, possible convergent zone activity there. And then as we scroll on into Sunday, additional rounds of precipitation, a little bit of a break here Monday for some areas, but then we continue to bring some precipitation in here. You can see Vancouver Island, Western BC, some of the Olympic Mountains, North Cascades kind of getting the bullseye here as we go through the next 90 hours or so. Taking a look at composite reflectivity as we go through the day today, so what the Doppler radar may look like. Here we are right about now, and you can see the shower activity kind of favoring northern portions of western Washington. Some convergent zone activity is possible. Everett, northward towards Skagit County again. And then as we scroll on into Sunday, we get that next week system swinging through here. And then we get a bit of a break as we go to Monday here. Could still be some precip flying here across western British Columbia. So it's not like it's going to be, a summer-like day here for much of the region. The further you go south, though, across the Willamette Valley, it is definitely going to be warmer than it is north. And now we're going to take a look at 500 millibar heights here. So I want to show you the European. This is yesterday afternoon's. Let me actually see if we have last night's running here as well. There it is. Okay, so we're going to let this one run out. You can see Washington is here. There's Alaska. There's Southeast Alaska, and the Pacific Ocean's there. So you can see our trough swinging through here as we go through the day today. And that next week's system comes through Monday. We get a little bit of that bump here on Monday for Memorial Day. Warming up maybe for Seattle a bit. And then we have that next trough swinging through as we go through the midweek period. Kind of a transient ridge swings through, then another trough here as we go through next weekend. And the Gulf of Alaska kind of stays active here as we go into the early portion of June, potentially building a big heat dome across some of the west here and some of the extended runs here and some deep troughing out over the Pacific. But again, plenty of time to worry about that. Looking at average temperature, departure from average, and you can see a lot of Washington and Oregon have been below average here. Some areas just, kind of slightly above here, but a lot of the West has been kind of below average here for the last 30 days or so. Precipitation, what a crazy signal here. You can see some portions of western and southwest Washington, western Oregon and southwest Washington have been well above average. Look, some of the Cascades and the East Slopes in eastern Washington well below average. Some of eastern Oregon, just a huge swing between some of the areas up near the Columbia River versus areas further south, and some of western Idaho has not been doing well. So kind of a big mixed bag here, and some of western Washington has bounced back. We've been a little bit above average for some areas here over the last 30 days. And here's the 6 to 10 day temperature outlook, kind of that below average signal here across the Pacific Northwest. 6 to 10 day precipitation here, kind of a sharp cutoff there near normal and versus some above average across extreme northwest portions. In the 8 to 14 day, much of the lower 48 showing up to be above average for the first week of June. We'll see how that trends. And 8 to 14 day precipitation, got that above average signal here though with the troughing out over the Pacific Ocean. They're thinking maybe that'll bring some systems and some moisture back towards the west coast for the first week of June. We'll see how that trends also. But anyway, yeah, I'll be out here chasing for the next week or so. And I may not have a briefing out every single day, depending on just how long the drives are and what we're doing exactly. But hope you guys are liking these videos. Hopefully the quality has increased. I was using a Samsung 8, a big tablet here, and I now have a laptop, and I'm trying to fine tune things here, but I'm using one of my more normal systems here to put out these briefings. So anyway, hope this quality is a little bit better here. Let me know in the comments below. Hopefully you guys are having a good day. Let me know what you guys are seeing, and I will talk to you guys tomorrow most likely.